one. We are live. Welcome to the show.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at this, Stevie Wonder. What's going on, big guy? How you
Yes,
doing? And just so
great.
everybody knows,
We're wondering. That's
right
why we're
behind you.
Stevie
Look, there's
Wonder.
your artwork right behind
Yeah, and we're talking
you.
about art today.
Yes, the meaning of art. This is going to be very exciting.
Exactly.
Tell us. And I'm drinking my
Meaning of
liquid for
life.
the whatchamacallit, for my colonoscopy. So cheers.
This is the Greek coffee. I mean, it's espresso,
Mhm.
but it's freddo. It's cold espresso. It looked like this. We used to drink in Greece frappe, if you're familiar with the name.
Sure. And this is a bunch of chemicals. So when the doctor sticks a tube up my tuchus later to take a look at my colon, it's nice and clean. So there you go.
Oh. Guys, you need to drink a lot of liquids. Summer is coming.
Yes.
It's hot in the world. Global warming is becoming stronger. It's hot also politically, as we know.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh, look at this. There we go. That's a nice shot of us. That'll scare some people.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I will do that. Because they have correction,
I
can't see very well.
I know. Look at you. All right. Well, let's start talking about the meaning of art, since that's what's the show about today. Let's discuss the meaning of art.
Yes.
So
So I will
tell
impose
us
the
all about it.
question to everybody.
What is the meaning of
and-
art? Well, I guess
And
we'll
to
do it how
you,
do
actually.
impose it.
What is
Right.
the
What's
meaning
the
of
meaning
art?
of
What
art
is art?
to
What is
you?
art?
What is art? Yeah. To me,
From the point of view, because I want to listen your opinion from a point of view who is not an artist or who is
a
an art
collector,
lover.
but not an artist. So
Yeah.
the meaning
Well,
of
I
art
think
to
you are
me,
an artist, but okay.
I'm artistic.
In a way, you are. Yeah, you are artistic. Yeah, of course.
So
You are
the
involved.
meaning of art, in my opinion, not being an artist like you, is and art can take many forms. It can take like everything that's behind me on all our walls that the viewers can't see, and it also can be the beauty of a cigar, the way it's rolled. It's the beauty of the way a scotch is made. So there's art in everything. So I don't look at art when people go art is like there's a photo, there's a painting, there's a whatever. There's art in everything. So I look at it a little differently. I have broader scale.
Yeah, but what is it? Because
me,
we
it
must
just
be
makes me
talking
smile.
about what is it.
It
Sorry?
is. It makes me smile. Art makes me smile. That's what it is.
The thing that brings you smile?
It
Oh,
makes
I'm
me
going to
smile.
push you
Art
more
makes me
with this.
smile. Art makes me smile. That's it.
Yeah, but this is the effect of art.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what is it?
I have no clue. I'm not an artist, so I don't know. I can only tell you what it is
So
to me.
in general, when we're trying to find the meaning of something, like for example, what is something, is philosophy in a way, because the difference between philosophy and science is this: that science is how the world works,
Right.
so that we know how it works, so that we can imitate its behavior, so that we can implement those in our technology and stuff. But what is the world is philosophy. So what is the art is kind of philosophical question. Don't worry, nobody's going to judge you. You can be free.
Here's the
say
best part.
whatever you
No one, it's your show, and nobody judges.
In my show,
no one
you can
judges.
say anything you like.
But we don't judge on our shows, which is
We
awesome.
don't judge, but of course we don't want the hate speech, but we don't have this hate speech, of course.
Correct. We're a good show.
We say our minds, we say our opinions, and sometimes people may not agree with those. I don't always agree with you, you know it. You don't always agree with me.
That's true.
Pretty
But
natural.
that's what makes the show. If we always agreed with each other, nobody would watch the show. It'd be very boring. Everybody just was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. You're right. You're right." That's crazy.
Although, to be a trend now, you must be different and say,
Oh,
no,
we're different,
here
right?
is, we're a dictatorship
We're different. We don't get
channel.
much different than us guys.
No.
So all right. So you're the artist, and you like to do philosophy. So tell everybody, in your humble opinion, what is the meaning of art?
Well, I think there are many definitions, and like you said, there are many forms of art. And actually, you kind of describe like everything is art. You said everything is art. You kind of described how the ancient Greeks felt about it, but they were, because the word art in Greek is techni,
Okay.
and it's the word that we use for technology, techno.
Mhm.
It's techni. Technology comes from this word. It's techni in Greek. It's art. So how technology has become art, it's because it's also the kind of in the Greek meaning, right? In the ancient Greek meaning, it's also the skill that you have to do something very well. Like
Okay.
for example, if you create very good ceramic vases or any kind of ceramic products, they were using a lot of those.
Right.
They were artists. They were creating technique. It was a
Right.
technique. But in today's also meaning modern Greek, when we say somebody has a technique, it means that somebody has a skill to do something, like repairing shoes, for example. It's a
Okay.
technique. It's a skill. Or although this particular kind of skill is not used anymore. But let's go
A
back to
cobbler.
art.
Sure. That's a cobbler.
Yeah, yeah. But the art through the years has changed and is changing. It's a kind of like a living organism, because
Right.
society is changing, and art is a product of our society. And
Okay.
okay, so coming to the definition, because we can say a lot of things. First of all, I think in general that art is an expression of the self.
Okay.
So you express, and it is a universal pattern. I have said that many times.
Yep.
My contribution to this definition is that I believe that it's also a bridge. It's a language, it's a bridge. And
Okay.
it's a bridge between subjectivity and objectivity. Because I often hear, in on the social media, that when people are on the X or I am on the X especially for the NFT, so it's a artistic community in a way.
Right. Right.
And by the way, remind me later, there is a documentary that's out on Netflix, but you
Okay.
can find it on YouTube also. It's called NFTs. What the fuck? It's
I think I've
interesting.
seen
I
it.
watched it yesterday,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's okay. It's one dimensional in my opinion, but we'll get to this later. So let's
Sure.
come back to the art. So this expression is also, as I say, a universal pattern, because that means that it's something that you can see also as a metaphor somewhere else. In fact, we
Right.
can see it everywhere. I think that you correctly said that it's everywhere,
It's
because it's
everywhere.
an
Sure.
expression.
Right.
But art, as we have it in our mind and as a culture right now, and for many centuries, I would say, although not too many,
Right.
because in Renaissance it was different. That's why we had different kind of art,
Right.
and now it's different because in the historical path of the humanity there have been changes, and we are now closer to what art is, that was defined by the Society of Netherlands in
Okay.
about, I think, 17th or 18th century. Because this is the way that artists are now, that they are creating their own work without any like somebody ordering art, like it used to be before.
Okay.
Like when it was Renaissance, artists were living by mainly one client, and the
Right.
client was the
They
church.
had a patron. Well, Leonardo da Vinci. What's his? My mind just is
Yes,
going when I can think of. But Michelangelo. They
Medici,
all had. They all had
patrons,
what's it called? They
Medici.
all had patrons, and that's how they
Yeah,
survived.
yeah. But at that time, yeah, there were some people that were also but if you look at that age of art, the
Mhm.
main thematology was about religion. And
Mhm.
okay, in Renaissance, that's where the name comes from. It was also, there was a little theme about the Greek culture, the ancient Greek
Right.
culture. That's what we could see a lot of scenes. That's what is called Renaissance, because they were
Right.
coming back to life, all those ideas of the Greeks again. And I think that probably we would need another Renaissance, but I don't know which kind of how it would
I don't
be.
think, unfortunately, the way the world is today, because it's all tech and it's all this and it's all that, I don't think we're going to have a renaissance like they had back in the day. I don't think
No,
there's one artist that captures everybody's imagination like back in the day, where you would look at a Michelangelo or a Da Vinci or whatever. I don't think that. I mean, we have Banksy.
oh, it
But
wasn't
Banksy's
one. There were many artists at the time.
I
It
know, but the
was
ones
like
that
a
we remember,
cultural.
right? But I'm just saying, 500 years later, you remember like 5 of them. And I don't see anybody
Well,
in this
I mean,
century.
okay, as a society, if you
Right.
study more history of art, there are much more
No, I
artists
understand that,
than
but as a
two. But we
society, we know 5
we
people.
know,
That's it.
yeah, okay. But it's interesting to study history of art, because it's actually a history of our culture, in my opinion. It's much more interesting than the history that we're taught in the schools, with the wars
Mhm.
and all the dates. So at that point there was this battle, and that point was that,
Right.
because the history of art corresponds to the actual feeling and how people were perceiving their time.
Right.
So they were expressing. That's what I said. They were expressing their time. We do it. We do it also right now, because that's the role of art. It's to express.
Right.
And there is a lot of talking about, oh, is this art? Oh, this is art. Is this art? Because there are many, absurd things that happening also in art, crazy things.
Right.
Like there's Mauricio Catalan that 3 years ago, I think, he took a banana, he
Mhm.
put it on the wall with a tape,
Oh yeah, and some guy
and
ate it.
yeah, some guy, a Korean
Some guy
or a
ate it.
Chinese guy,
Yeah,
ate it,
and
and
he was he was charging like 50 grand for it. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. That's like when the guy pooped in a can
no, it wasn't
and he
50.
sold
It
it.
was 170, I think. There were 3
Whatever. That's
editions.
dumbest friggin' thing in the world. And the best was when Crisco did the around Miami Beach, when he put all the made pink around all the islands in Miami Beach back in the
Look,
80s.
there are many crazy ways of expression, but look,
That's true.
those belong to the absurdist wave of
Right.
thinking about art. So it will
Right.
be crazy because it's absurd, right?
Right.
So they, like, one of the first absurd artworks was this urine at the beginning of the 20th century by what's his name? I forget his name. God.
Uh-oh. Well, that's how
Uh,
impactful his piece was.
Come on, he was Deschamps.
Deschamps, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he created an urine and
Okay.
signed it. Just an urine. He presented
Yeah.
an urine when we pee, the boys,
Mhm.
and he signed it not as himself, as some like a nickname or something, and he presented
Yeah.
it. That happened 100 years ago.
Wow.
So imagine the impact of presenting an artwork at that time.
Right.
If we right now, 100 years later, after so many things that absurd happened in the art world, like paintings that were totally blank, there were
Right.
artists that were putting just a blank canvas on the show,
Right.
and it was, this is the artwork, this is my expression.
Right.
It's a conceptual art. It's trying to tell you something, not with the beauty of it, or maybe there is beauty in it because of the concept of it. If for some it is, because there are people who look for this kind of art.
Right.
Or there are many ways and forms of art, and there's a big debate that is this art or it's not art. There are artists right now who do really crazy stuff. We can see it, and there is this debate about if this is art, and of course many people who are not very much drawn and deep into it, they say no, it's not art. But in fact,
Right.
it is art. It is
But
art,
everything
since
is.
everything is art. And if the artist or the creator is saying this is art,
Right.
it is art. But of course, we have come to a point that many artworks need explanation. Like you can see an artwork, and then in a gallery you can see the whole description of the art, what it is about, and what he's trying to do. So art has come also to this kind of level right now, that it needs also an explanation, that it's not enough to look at it. Although it's visual, we're talking about visual art. We're not talking about. We can speak also about music, because we will speak, because there are many forms of art. It's not only fine arts, the visual arts.
It's not only visual art. It's also
and visual art. When we say visual art, we know it's painting, it's sculpture, it's ceramics, it's printing, it's AI, video, all those that we can perceive with our eyes. That's why it's visual. But of course, there are other forms of art, like architecture, which got also practical extensions, because we live in spaces that we create. But it is a form of art. And there is music, which is totally different kind of art. It's got different properties, different nature, because it needs time to perceive. You need to use only ears, and you need to listen to it in time. Of course, you need also time to watch a painting, but it's different nature, because you instantly see it all at once. And then you go into the details of the artwork and see, oh, I see something here. And then you uncover the whole story. Because
with artwork, what I have found is that I look at one of my paintings, and every time I look at it, I always see something. I see what I see, but then I'll always notice something different.
Yes, because your mind is creating the stories. It's what I've been saying, that our mind is fed by stories. It needs stories to exist. That's its job. That's what our minds are doing. It's creating stories. And when they are looking at an artwork, they will instantly, it will try to find meaning. The story is also a meaning, right?
Right.
And sometimes you don't understand the story. Well, this is actually what happening in the modern art, that mostly we don't understand it. But sometimes, there are forms of art that it's not to be understood. It's to be felt. It's to trigger your senses. It's to trigger your emotions.
Right.
And I had a debate on X with a guy. He said that art is about emotions. And I said, look, it's not only about emotions, because sometimes, for example, me, I'm trying to trigger their thinking. I mean, I'm trying to create a debate about a concept. It can be any kind of concept. It can be a war concept. Like, do we need wars? What are wars for? What do we have wars? And okay, the emotions may come, but it's not the main domain that I'm looking for. It's not created for the emotions. I create art also for the emotions, but what I'm trying to say that it's not only about emotions. They can trigger emotions, of course, any kind of emotions, but not only that. There are also artists, because I mentioned before the documentary, the NFTs, what the fuck. So if you want to learn about what happened 3 years ago, when the big explosion of the NFTs
exactly, and then they died. Yes,
exactly. And I don't know why, because there's a lot of presence of Damien Hirst there. I was wondering. So I have my some kind of objections to the documentary also, but it was like he produced it, and then at the end I was looking at the title and said, "Is there his name there?" Something like that, because it's like kind of promotion of his work, because he created.
It's a nice way to if you do a 90-minute documentary all about you or about a space.
No, it was. There were many artists, but he was like kind of dominating.
I remember this documentary. It came out a couple of years ago. I actually watched it. It was
no. It's few months ago, and in Netflix.
There's one on Netflix here. The same title came out like 2 years ago.
I don't think we're speaking about the same, because I think this one is very new.
Hold on. I'm gonna look right now and let you know.
Look at it. Look at it on the YouTube. It's called
I'm going to
NFTs.
not YouTube. I'm going on to the whatchamacallit. I'm going to Netflix and just see.
Okay, you can
NFT.
watch.
Go ahead.
So Damien Hirst was talking there, and he also put the money parameter to the conversation, because he said that I am obsessed with money and
Right.
with art. So he put this parameter to the art domain, and well, we are living in a culture that money is very, very essential to our being, to our living.
Right.
Of course, I don't exclude it as an art. It is an art.
Money?
The problem with
Money's an art?
Sorry.
Money is an art?
No, it can be a parameter put in the art.
Well, you mean in
because
the painting actually, or the price of the art?
also this, because that's why he created. I will tell you what he did, and it's covered in the documentary, that he created
Okay.
a project where
Okay.
he created 10,000 of images, and
Right.
asked from those who will buy it, and gave them 1 year, I think, or 6 months, something like that, to choose if they will prefer to have the print of the, not print, the actual artwork, I mean the physical
Right.
artwork, or the NFT, because
Okay.
he minted also the NFTs of the artwork. So there were 10,000 of those and 10,000 of that.
Okay.
And the buyers, the collectors, would
Mhm.
finally choose which one they will keep. And at the end, if they kept the NFT, he would burn, because this is a terminology. It's a term. It's a word that we use in the world of NFTs. That if you don't want to have this artwork anymore on the blockchain, you burn it, you delete
Okay.
it. It
Right.
doesn't
Right.
exist anymore on the. So
Okay.
it's in the same way, the same thing happened, that you actually burn it. So he did those. He burned those NFTs that people kept the print,
Okay.
and and the opposite on the other side. That
Okay.
those who kept the print, he burned the NFT. So that was the main concept of the art. And of course, at the time, it was interesting. But the parameter to this was the money, of course, because
Right.
the whole NFT, in my opinion, because the NFT is, as I said, it's a market.
Well, yeah, it's
There,
just like the art market. It's a scam. I mean, it's interesting. But here's the thing, though. Why can't we used to tell people do
it's not scam, but by default, there.
well,
Really,
that's yeah.
I didn't scam anybody. I
No,
sell
no, not
NFTs
you. I'm just
still.
saying it's the way they did it with the board monkeys and all the other crap. That was crazy.
Yeah,
But
that
poly
was.
digital, like when we would do something in NFT with an artist, we'd say do poly digital. So then not only do you get the NFT, but you get the actual art. And I think that's important. Like if I'm an artist, I want you to have both, because you can sell one, keep one, do whatever. But this way, if the NFT market really does die, and all you have is this JPEG on your phone, at least I have a piece of art, if you will, that I can hang in my house. So
Yeah.
I like that. And that's very important to me, I think, at the end of the day.
To have the physical, you mean?
I like the physical. I like to, like, I'm right now, I'm looking at this photographer who took a picture of a moose. He's a world famous photographer. He sent me this picture of a moose because a moose is smirking. It's like an FU smirk. And he's like, that's Steve. So I have that. I can look at this every day when I walk into my studio, my office. I've got artwork over here, behind me, over to the side. I can look at all of it, and it makes me smile. We have artwork throughout the whole place, right? And I enjoy
But you can
it
use it, yeah.
because of that. I don't having it on my phone. I use my phone for business.
But
You know what I mean?
it's
Or
not
I
only
don't
about
use
the
my
phone.
phone
You
to
can
look at
have it
artwork.
on your television. You can have
I don't want it on
there
my
are also.
television. I see it doesn't do any. I don't. That does nothing for me. I like to see it, whether I have a piece that's 8 by 8 or a piece that's 50 by 50 and everything in between. I like the actual work of it. There's something to me that's more mystical
Well,
about
digital
that than
art is
some
the
digital
actual
drawing.
work. It's the pixels. It's that thing.
Yeah, no. Let me look. Look, see this? See this one? See, you may know this guy that did this one, right? Behind me, right here.
Yeah, I
I
did
like
it.
that one. Yeah, no kidding. That's what I mean. You may know him.
Yeah, but
My
maybe
point
people don't
is,
know it.
I know. But my point is, I like it because when I walk in here, I see it. It's not digital. It's not.
You
But
you can see
I
it on
like.
the television. The
I can
televisions
know.
now. Come on, the televisions are
Listen,
not very good.
I listen. Someone gave me a gift. It's a digital frame thing where I can put, but it doesn't have the same impact because I can see this all day. In my digital frame, every 30 seconds, it changes another picture.
No,
If I need to,
you can have it
it's still,
constantly lighting up your television.
yeah, I
Samsung
will do it.
created a television that was called
Right.
the frame, and one of the purposes of that frame of that television was to have artworks, and they were promoting it, saying that you will not see the difference between a paper, for example, and
I
this.
see the difference. You know
And
why?
look also
Actually,
the
I can
plus of
touch.
it.
I could not. This is artwork by a world famous Korean artist, and it's in a frame. And he did touch. I like that. I can't do that on digital. Digital's like this. Digital's like, oh look, I'm touching digital. Big deal. It doesn't. Digital art to
Yeah,
me
but
is
okay,
not art. That's just my opinion. What
okay.
do I know?
A German philosopher, Heidegger, he was writing a lot about art. He was saying that art has
Yeah,
mainly spiritual
awakening.
essence.
Right. But
So
this is
for
more
him, it
spiritual than a digital thing to me. To me, maybe not to anybody else, but to me,
you mean the
that's more spiritual.
material, this material
Right.
that the artists were used.
Right, because I
What's not
feel
spiritual is material. That's
right.
what
It's
I'm trying to
material,
tell
but
you. That is
I feel I,
beyond the.
right, but I feel the soul. I feel his pain. I feel whatever the artist put into it when I have a physical item. A digital item to me, I can make a digital painting. No one would buy it, but I can make one. But my point is to me, this there's some value there. Does that make sense? To me, that's how
There's
I look at
value
it.
also in digital art.
I'm sure, but not in my world. In my world, digital art is just a glorified JPEG. I could care less.
Well,
I
what
want
you
this.
have behind you, my
Mhm.
work, it
Yeah,
was a JPEG that I
yeah,
printed it. I
I
didn't
understand
put
that.
any kind of my strokes,
But
my
but
paint.
but it's here and it's numbered, nice, and I have it says it is a little note from you. So that to me makes it the artwork. All of that together.
So
I know what you did.
you're referring also to the point that, okay, is digital actually like a unique piece of art? I mean, only I can have it, for example. And that's what
Yeah,
NFTs try to solve, that
right, but it
you
didn't
are
really
the
become that.
owner, a
Right, but I'm the
digital
only one
owner,
that has this. And I'm the only one that
physical, the
has right.
physical.
I'm the only one
Yeah.
that has this one, and a whole bunch of others that people can't see. I'm the only one that owns them. The physical.
Yeah, but the one that you have is limited edition. That means other also have it
That's okay.
or can
But
have it.
out of my
But the
collection,
number that you have, nobody else has it. But the
right,
same
I have no
happens in the digital
right,
asset that you have, the digital
right.
certificate. The
But see,
difference is that everybody can actually like enjoy the artwork in the same way
right.
with the digital. In the same way, it's kind of democratizing in a way. That is
It
also
is
one of the arguments that people who are into NFTs, that they are saying that democratizing, everybody can enjoy
right.
the same quality of art, but only one have the digital certificate of it, like the owner, and it's
Yeah,
on the
I'm
blockchain. So it's pretty sure that
right.
nobody can change that. It's pretty sure that
But
it
all my
owns.
stuff has provenance. So all my stuff is kind of, if you will, has its own blockchain that an auction house would know, and I'm okay with that. I don't. I'm not when I buy art. I'm not buying it for the masses. I don't care if anybody sees it but me. And then when I die, if my family decides to put it on tour or sell, I don't care. This I buy things that
Look,
I like for me. Yeah,
I'm not accusing you of anything. You
I know. I'm
just
just saying.
say
So
that you prefer this kind of a physical art,
mhm,
and I think that still people
sure,
prefer
yeah,
the physical, and in their minds, the physical artwork is actually the real artwork. That's what most
correct.
people still think, and I don't blame them. It's all right.
Yeah,
The NFTs is still something, or digital art in general. It's still something new.
right. But you
It's
still
been
paint. You painted that huge painting that I guess next week or the week after we're going to take a look
Yeah,
at.
yeah. We'll show it next
that's a
week because I
physical.
need to.
But you need to. I know, but that's a physical piece of work, though. That is not a digital piece of. I mean, you can make it into digital, but the original is how it started, from a physical piece of work where you did layers and this and that and strokes and paint and wood and blah blah blah. Right? Where digital comes from here, I get it. It goes on, goes on the screen, and Morton, right? Because you're on Morton's show ad hoc every now and then. Morton's a digital artist, and all his stuff is digital. And I said to him one day the same thing. Sometimes I say to other digital artists, I really like that. I want that on my wall. And they're like, oh, but they don't do that. And I'm like, but I don't want digital. I want that piece on my wall. And so with you, at least you do both. You'll give people the digital and you'll give them the physical. So you
Yeah,
do kind of the
I do
poly
it.
digital.
I do them both because
Right.
of the need that I have to do them both.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will tell you from the point of view of the creator, what's the difference? And the main difference is the way you create.
Right.
Because I like the digital. I love the digital 3D that I am doing, especially because of its possibilities of
Right.
expressing. Now, coming back, because we will come back also again to the this is all about art, but to the
Right.
main meaning of art. But when you create something that is physical, like you paint or you do mixed media, I do both. In fact, there's a big difference because you stand up, you go back to see it, you touch it, you use more your senses to create it.
Right.
And it's a different kind of expression.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you are like angry, for example, and you take your pigments and your brush, and then your brush will be your feelings that you have at the moment will be more expressed probably on the physical, more accurate, more essential to the feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but I think people understand in you too. Than maybe the digital.
Right.
I don't know. Probably.
Right. Interesting.
Yes.
I think it's kind of like they say, art is in the eye of the beholder. So for some people like me, it's physical. Other people, it's digital. And then to your point earlier, whether it's music, it's architect. I have friends that will walk around a city and they'll ooh and ah of every building. Like, oh my God, look at this. And I'm like, it's a building. I could care less. Right. And I have other friends of mine that'll see art and go, it's a painting. I mean, it could be Mona Lisa, it could be a Picasso, or it can be a fifth grader did a finger painting. It's a painting. Could care less. So everybody looks at art totally different.
Yes, but look, I also said that my interpretation, my contribution to the artwork, at least in the world of definition, and words and linguistic, let's say, concepts. I said that it's the bridge between subjectivity and objectivity, and I will explain that the artist and each one of us are subjectivities. We are living closed in our own experiences that nobody else can experience.
Right.
This is subjectivity. Okay. Each one of us is a subjective, like the analytic idealisms that I follow, saying is a dissociated consciousness.
Right.
So dissociated from the big consciousness that there is as a whole, like the universe, etc. And art is a tool, the bridge, that takes the subjectivity, takes those experiences, everything that I feel, that I have, that I thought, my concepts, my ideas, and I try to express them into this external world that we're living in, the external, which is objective. Right. And by objective, I mean that the table, that if I were there and you have a table, we would both see the tables from a different point of view always, because subjectivity is point of view.
Right.
But I will express it, take it out of me, from my inside, out of me to the outside, so that you can perceive it too with your senses.
Right.
And then take it into your subjectivity. And then we kind of we kind of know what we're talking about. Because if I make an artwork about the war and I want to say that war is bullshit, we should stop the war, you would understand it because you would probably associate things on the artwork that there are in the painting or anything.
Right.
But he's talking about the war and he's definitely against the war.
Right.
Or he's trying to say something more extended, like why the wars are there and how maybe we should or could eliminate the wars.
Right.
So that's why in this way I say that it's the bridge between subjectivity and objectivity, and this is why I mean that it's an expression, and this is an expression that happens to everybody. But the question is, okay, when I speak now about what is art, I'm speaking my mind, I'm expressing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this art?
So
what makes art? You see, because look, when you go to a university, an academy of art, it's not academy of art actually, it's academy of fine arts.
Right,
so
right.
what that fine actually means?
Yeah.
Because okay, let's say that everything is art, right? Okay,
Right.
let's say that it is, but there must be some kind of like let's say fine art, good art, and maybe bad art.
Right.
More successful art and less successful art. An artwork that stays in time, like the Renaissance, that those pieces that we have in the museums, there's a reason we have Mona Lisa,
Right.
as you mentioned, in the museum, because it's an imprint of the culture of the time.
Right.
That has a big impact also in this period of time that we're living. So it's kind of extended.
It transcends time. It
Exactly.
time.
Exactly. That means that this artwork,
yeah,
it is good. It's fine art. So this is what we're trying to. So the question is, what makes a good artwork good? Fine. What makes a good artwork fine?
Your promoter makes good artwork good. That's what makes
Well,
it good.
I don't think so. I think that the time decides what is good and not. Exactly.
Oh, no. Andy Warhol, I look at like his last piece sold for $168 million or some ridiculous amount. And I like it.
Oh no, the art market is something totally different from the art itself. It's totally different.
Right, but unfortunately, people look at the market, right? Because they don't know half of these artists like Kuntz and the rest of them. They just see something of his sells for $7 million and are like, oh, he must be good. All right, maybe. But when you go back, there's good artists. It's just that you have the right promoter that takes you from being obscure to being famous. Or you get a patron, once again, that likes you. And it could be just, a wealthy family, a business, whatever it is. And
I have a Patreon.
I know you do. You have a
Also
guy in London that's going to come on the show one day.
Hello, David.
Yeah. So, but my point is that that's the difference, though. If you get one of those, then that helps escalate you to the next level, right? Then you can sell your things for, instead of a few $100s, you can sell them for a few thousand or a few $100,000. And then that's, I think, what helps as well. And so art is a business. That's a subject we should also have at one point.
No. I'm telling you that the art market is something totally. You have to really, really divide it. Art market is something totally
but that's out of the show. Right.
That's
a different show.
In the art market, in my opinion, I'm speaking about my opinion. Of course, you don't. The art market is actually using art as a commodity to make money. It's like using it as an investment. Right. But this is something totally different from the expression that the definition that I said.
Right, the meaning of art. Yeah.
The meaning, the real meaning of art. Because in my opinion, this is the real meaning of art. That's why we have art. But we're living in a society right now where everything is valued with money.
Right.
And by the way, to say that people often, also in my opinion, people are thinking that everything is money and, that we are built in a society of money and the money is value. Well, money is not a value. Money is something very abstract.
Right.
It's kind of a piece. We don't really understand it. We just trust it. Because the system is
Well,
using it and it's
you gotta-
imposing it to us.
It beats trading seashells, I guess. Right?
Yeah,
Or beads
yeah.
or
But
something.
actually,
Yeah.
what is money is the time that you have spent, the time of your life, which is the only thing you have, the time of your life that
Right.
you spent to create the money. You understand now? Even Elon Musk, which is the richest one, he is working, he's spending time.
No, he's not, by the way.
He is all the time. I think
as of
he's.
last week. No. Last week, Mark Zuckerberg passed them. Mark Zuckerberg.
No, I'm not talking. I'm not talking about who has more money. This is also abstract and bullshit. But what I mean is that he is spending time of his life to create money.
Well, that's
so
only, they all do.
He's yeah. Sorry.
They all do that.
Well,
everybody. I don't know if you realize this. Everybody spends every second of their life, whether they realize it or not, trying to create money or value because they have to pay bills.
Not true. Not true. I'm not doing
so.
art. I'm not doing art to make money. That's why I don't have money.
I know that you do this show to make money. I understand. The art is just your passion.
I'm not doing even. Look. I am doing things for money, but it's a very, very tiny portion of my life. I really tell you, I want you to believe it.
Yeah.
I don't accept money as something, with essence.
Right.
It's something very, very vulnerable to change.
Right.
There are many values in this world that we're living. Like love is a value.
Yeah.
If somebody would provide you, like with essence that you need, like the house, electricity, the food, everything that you buy, that you need money for.
Right.
Would you need money? No.
No, of course not.
That's why we say that the AI, the advent of the AI, it will probably change the way that we are actually looking at value in terms of money. Because if AI is doing all the things, everything must be cheaper. So people would think.
I don't know about that, because AI takes a lot of computing power, which is energy. So it may be cheaper the way we see it, but on the back end, it may not actually be cheap.
Yeah, but in the future, when there'll be like massive implementation of AI, massive in everything, there'll be our lawyers, there'll be our doctors, surgeons, there'll be our everything, our accountants, our psychiatrists, therapists. There'll be. There'll be. It's pretty sure.
I'm excited. If you watch any of our
there'll be your companion. There'll be your partner. You remember the movie Her?
Yeah. No, that's I need a physical partner. I need somebody that I can
but people we use it as a companion.
Yeah. No,
there are lonely people who use it as a companion.
Get a dog.
That's better.
I grab my dog. I grab a cigar and a scotch.
But in my opinion, this thing, if you will be using an AI, something that you are aware of that it's not real, it's an illusion, and you will be representing it as a partner, as a human, and your need is actually to have a real partner like you, who understands you, even in partly, because we are living with other people. We don't fully understand each other. We cannot understand the subjectivity that I was telling about, and this is why that art is this sophisticated way, is a special way, because we are coming back now again to this thing that if everything is an expression, what makes art is this sophisticated way of expressing with its own kind of laws. It's got its own rules, right? You can use a lot of ways to create now. It's not only your brush and paint. You can do digital. You can do any concept,
AI can create
performance.
Art for me now too.
Yeah, but when it does for you, what do you do in this expression? What do you want to express?
I mean, like I for a joke one day I went on to Dolly, which is on ChatGPT 4, and I said, "Here's what I want you to create," and it did a very nice, beautiful thing. And I looked at it, I went, "All right, that's nice," and I got rid of it. Because I didn't really create it. The AI created it. I just gave it an idea. So I didn't really do any creating.
But the AI artists are claiming that they spend the time. Look, I am not denying that this is also art. The question is the same. This is a nice bridge that we do. as we said, that art is bridge, that
Yeah.
at the end, your need to express your subjectivity is not probably fully complete with something, because it's not somebody, something doing the job for you
I agree.
in the expression.
Yeah.
Unless you do use the AI in that way, that it really, I mean, you can fool everybody, but you cannot fool yourself. You cannot fool your own subjectivity.
I agree.
Because if your need is to have a real partner to tell you, look, guy, I don't fully understand you, you're full of shit, but I love you.
Right.
It's what you need to hear, sometimes, and you need to feel it also. Not only to hear it, because sometimes we hear it a lot, but we don't feel it.
Right. And AI won't give us. And on that thought,
well, AI with prompts probably will not.
No. But at some point, AI will be sentient and it'll be able to. So, and as my friend
It won't be.
used to say,
It will never be sentient in the way that we
well,
will have
remember, my friend used to
consciousness.
say this. He goes, like
It's an illusion of
OCH was.
sentience.
So who's to say that we're not AI that somebody created 5 million years ago, and now we're doing the same thing, we're creating our extinction.
Look, AI means artificial intelligence. So we are the organic expert. We are the original expert.
How do we know? How do you know?
We're from we know it from our experience.
Yeah,
from empirical experience.
So AI will know it from AI's experience, and they will look at themselves as the real thing. Because think about it, since we don't know where we came from, since we don't know how it all began, we only know what we're told or what we perceive. This is what we perceive to be real. It is what it is.
But that would require an advanced AI, which right now the AI, as we call it, the neural networks, actually, it's not even AI, neural networks. It's a simulation, and everything.
We could be a simulation, but we don't know.
We cannot exist, and we don't know. So there can be many interpretations, but let's stick to the ground, to the empirical. Yeah, we can with no look. You cannot refute any kind of silly
notion.
Any kind of silly idea about the world, or any kind of theory or conspiracy theory. But the question is, do we have reason to believe that something is like there is a flying spaghetti in that it's, do we have the reason? We cannot refute it.
Right. I agree. And that's a subject we should have a dialogue on. And because that's an interesting topic in general, because a lot of
we have another topic that it's not ending easily in one. That's why we'll be talking
forever until there's no more time.
Forever, probably.
But it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. But I was going to say that on Wednesday, because you're live on Monday, but on Wednesday, Morton, the ad hoc show, is going to be live with a rebroadcast on Friday. So there's 2 live shows now. So we can come on.
Send me if I can do it, I will do it. But those days are quite busy in many ways.
But your fans can watch you on 2 shows live.
All right.
And ask questions. But we're going to leave everybody where that is today. Let them ponder the meaning of art, and then AI and whatnot, and everything in between. As always, my friend, it's good to see you.
And, good to see you. And
we'll see you next Monday, same time, same bad channel live. And thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget, you can catch us. The rebroadcast is on Tuesday morning. You can catch the rebroadcast of this on the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, under 2 Old Farts Making Noises. And that's on Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify.
Or just do a search and put Adam Martinaki. So Martinakis,
and you'll find him there, because
you'll find it also there on YouTube. I have other videos, but not this kind of
ours are the
videos.
best.
It's different from the way that I am active and real. I mean, I speak, and lately we don't show much art. We talk,
which is
but
good.
If they want, it's good. We will show also and everything. But this part is me talking about this. So what is behind the art?
Yeah, which is actually pretty cool. We should actually change the show to behind the art.
They can see my work on the internet, on the galleries where I have, and everywhere.
Or they can just watch the show and see it right behind me.
Or they can buy the artworks and have them forever.
There you go, in their house, like I do. There you
exactly.
Go. All right, everybody, have a good week. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.
Bye-bye.